Hey guys, it's me again. Um, so I wanted to talk about now. I wanted to get into the book of Job, um, because I don't know if you all can relate to the story of just one tragedy after another. Um, losing people, losing people, um, like going through these hardships and having a hard time, um, with your own self, with the relationship with yourself and with others. I know I've been having a hard time with that. It's okay. Been having a hard time with my relationship with other people. So, this is a long book, so I don't know if I should read it all. It's a really, really long book. But I'm just gonna go through gonna try to go for the first 2 or 3, probably. That's okay with you? So, I wanted to incorporate a little bit of prayer, if that's okay. So, Father God, I thank you for this day. I thank you for another day of life, Lord. I pray for those those people who are hurting or going through a tough time, that they would find this calmness and faith and hope that everything will be okay, that that you will never leave you, that you will never leave them or forsake them, Lord, that you're always with them no matter what they're going through, Lord, and you don't judge them because of their hardships, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. So let's read. It says here, Job and his family in Oz. There was a man in the land of Oz whose name was Job, and that name was blameless and upright, and one who feared God and shunned evil. And 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him. And his possessions were 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and a very large household. So that this man was the greatest of all the people of the East. And his sons would go and feast in their houses, each sisters to eat and drink with them. So it was when the days of feasting of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and a very large household, so that this man was the greatest of all the people of the East. And his sons would go and feast in their houses, each on his anointed day, and would set and invite through their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. So it was when the days of feasting had run their course that Job would send and sanctify them, and he would rise early in the morning and offer burnt offerings according to the number of them offered. Job said, "It might be that my sons have sinned and cursed." So God in their hearts, thus Job did regularly. Okay, now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. And the Lord said to Satan, "From where do you come?" So Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro on the earth, and for walking back and forth on it. Then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job, that there is not like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, and one who fears God and shuns evil? And so Satan answered the Lord and said, does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not made a hedge around him, around his household, and around all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work on his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But now stretch out your hand and touch all that he has, and he will certainly curse you to your face. And the Lord said to Satan, behold, all that he has is in your power, only do not lay a hand on his person. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. Now there was a day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. And a messenger came to Job and said, the oxen were plowing and donkeys feeding beside them, when the Sabeans raided them and took them away. Indeed, they have killed the servants with the edge of the sword. And I alone have escaped to tell you. While he was still speaking, another also came and said, the fire of God fell from heaven and burnt up the sheep and the servants and consumed them. And I alone have escaped to tell you. While he was still speaking, another also came and said, the Chaldeans formed 3 bands, raided the camels, and took them away. Yes, and killed these servants with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to tell you. While he was still speaking, another also came and said, your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. And suddenly a great wind came from across the wilderness and struck the four corners of the house, and if it fell on the young people, and they are dead. I alone have escaped to tell you. Then Job arose, tore his robe, and shaved his head, and he fell to the ground and worshipped, and he said, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return there. The Lord gave me, and the Lord has taken away. Bless me, the Lord, the name of the Lord, and all this. Job did not sin nor charge God with wrong. And then again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. And the Lord said to Satan, from where do you come? Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and from on the earth, and from walking back and forth on it. Then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil? And still he holds fast to his integrity, although you incited me against him to destroy him without cause. So Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin. Yes, all that man has he will give for his life. But stretch out your hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will surely curse you to your face. And the Lord said to Satan, behold, he is in your hand, but spare his life. So Satan went on from the presence of the Lord and struck Job with painful blows, from the sole of his feet to the crown of his head. And he took for himself a potsherd with each to scrape himself, while he sat in the midst of the ashes. Then his wife said to him, do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse God and die. But he said to her, you speak as one of the foolish women speaks. Shall we indeed accept good from God, and shall we not accept adversity? And on this Job did not sin with his lips. Now when Job's 3 friends heard all of his adversity that had come upon him, Each one came from his own place, Eliphaz and Temanite, Bildad and the Shulatite, and so far, the Nephilim. I don't know how to spell these. Anamatite, Namatite. I have no idea. God, I don't know how to spell these. Namatite. I don't know. For they had made an appointment together to come and mourn with him and to comfort him. And when they raised their eyes from afar and did not recognize him, they lifted their voices and wept, and each one tore his robe and sprinkled dust on his forehead toward heaven. So they sat down with him on the ground 7 days and 7 nights. And no one spoke a word to him, for they saw that his grief was very great. After this, Job opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth. And Job spoke and said, May the day perish on which I was born, and the night in which it was dead. A male child is conceived, and may that day be darkness. May God above not seek it, nor the light shine upon it. May darkness and the shadow of death claim it. May a cloud settle on it, may the blackness of the day terrify it. May it not rejoice against the days of the year, may not come into the number of the months, or may that night be barren. May not joyful shout come into it. May those curse it with who curse the day, those who are ready to arouse Leviathan. May the stars of this morning be dark, and it look for light, but none, and none see the dawning of the day, because it did not shut up the doors of my mother's womb, nor hide sorrow from my eyes. Why did I not die at birth? Why did I not perish when I came from the womb? Why did the knees receive me? Or why did the breast that I should nurse? Or now I would have lain still and been quiet. I would have been asleep, then I would have been at rest. With kings and counselors of the earth who built ruins for themselves, or with princes or who had gold, who filled their homes with silver, or why has not hidden like a stubborn child, like infants who never saw light, or the wicked ceased from troubling, and there was weary at a rest. There the prisoners rest together, they do not hear the voice of the oppressor. The small and great are there, and the servant is free from his master. Why is that given to him who is misery and life to bitter soul, who longed to death but did not come, and searched for it that hidden treasures, who rejoice exceedingly, and are glad when they find the grave which by its light given to a man whose way is hidden, and whom God has hedged in. For my sighing comes before I eat, and my groanings pour out like water. And for the thing I greatly feared has come upon me, what I dreaded has happened to me. I am not at ease, nor I am quiet. I have no rest, for trouble comes. So basically, of all the 3 books that I have read, it's a really long book. I'm not sure if I'm gonna read the whole book to you. I'm gonna try, but not sure. Okay. Yes, it's 42 books. So, basically, of all the 3, Job 1 through 3, So all of this is happening because of of the devil. It's not because of God. Okay? Yes, God like let him let the devil um happen all those things to Job. But that doesn't mean that he's the one that caused it. It was the devil. Sometimes we go through troubles and tribulations and we tend to blame God. I blamed God for a lot of things. I just gone through a lot of losses, going through a lot of health issues, just like Job. It got even worse. The losses got even worse in 2022. I lost 3 relatives. I lost my job. I got scammed. You know all that story. It was a horrifying year for me. It's been hard for me to trust people, to lean on people, to have healthy like relationships, because I do not know like what's their intentions, like whether that person's pulling away. I don't know. Is it because they don't want to be part of my life anymore, or just because there's something going on in their lives? I don't know. It's very hard for me to have healthy relationships with people, and it's been hard. I've been trying not to like take it take a toll on me. Like I mentioned before, I did a series of sabotaging relationships. It's hard for me to trust people because of what happened to me. And sometimes I did blame God for what has happened, and I prayed God, and it didn't save my brother. It didn't save those people that I loved, and I prayed, but my answers were not answering the way that I wanted, and I blamed him, and I can so relate to Job. I have lost so much. It's been hard trying to get back to it, and I can so relate to this book. And I know that I'm not the only one can relate to this book. So that's why I was like, there's something in me. I think there was God telling me like, hey, you need to start reading the Bible again, and also like not only for yourself, but helping other people on their healing journey as well as you're going through yours. And it can so relate to this book, and I know that you can all relate to it in some way or another. I recommend this book. I only read like the 3 first chapters. Like I have read like the half chapters, but not all of it. It's because like my life, like it's been hectic, and I like go all over the place. But I've been like trying to have time to like get back to the Bible. But I know that this healing journey, and it's hard healing journey, it's not linear, and hopefully as we navigate the story, we find that we can like that once we go through this story, and we will know that our healing journey is not linear, that our healing journey, it's not going to be a smooth ride in the road. You know, like when you go to a road trip, it's like bumps and rocky roads, and some parts of them are smooth, and there's like hills, and then those slow hills, and there's big hills, and there's like ooh, and curves and like ups and downs and all of these things. It's not linear. It's not smooth. It's gonna be bumpy. It's gonna be curvy. It's gonna be. Although I wish I was curvy. Like some roads. But yeah, it was weird. But like it's not gonna be easy. Or it's gonna be times that we, at the beginning of the story, we're gonna have these things that we like us just as help. Like we're like, I wish I was never born. Like I wish like my life would have been easier if I wasn't here anymore. Like I know how it is to not wanting to be here anymore, to not wanting to carry on because of the burdens of life, because life sometimes can get tough and just one thing after another, and you just feel like you're getting out of one thing and then boom, another thing just comes, and then it comes and it comes, like Hope, like he lost his family, like he's lost he's hurt, he's lost almost like basically everything. He's losing his health. People around him don't understand what he's going through. So basically, I also talked about that in one of my videos, of like people not understanding where you're hurt, of what you're experiencing. So that's gonna be also part of this book. There's gonna be a bumpy road of having doubts and fears, and of not knowing that these things are gonna get better. So I don't know that somehow this does end up in a good story, good ending. But we still have a long way to go, so I don't know, let me just read 3 and 4. I need to go more dive into it. Okay. So the friends, we left off on the friends sitting down and not just like looking at him, just like not saying a word. So it's saying, after this job, okay, no, I already read that. Sorry. Jesus. I already read that. Sorry. Oops. Then Eliphaz the Tetemite answered and said, if one attempts a word with you, will you become weary? But who can withhold himself from speaking? Surely you have instructed many, and you have strengthened weak hands. Your words have upheld him who has stumbling, and you have strengthened the feeble knees. But now it comes upon you, and you are weary. It touches you, and you're troubled. It is not your reverence, your confidence, and the integrity of your ways your hope. Remember now, whoever perished being innocent, or were the upright ever cut off, even as I have seen those who plow iniquity and sow trouble reap the same. By the blast of God they perish. By the breath of his anger they are consumed. The roaring of the lion, the voice of the fierce lion, and the teeth of the young lions are broken. The old lion perishes for lack of prey, and the cubs of the lioness are scattered. Now a word was secretly brought to me, and my ear convinced of a whisper of it. And disquieting thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep falls on men. Fear came upon me, and trembling which made all bones shake. Then a spirit passed before my face. The hair of my body stood up, it stood still. but I could not discern its appearance. A form of was before my eyes. There was silence. Then I heard a voice saying, "Can a mortal be more righteous than God? Can a man be more pure than his Maker? If he puts no trust in his servants, if he charges his angels with error, how much more does he dwell in houses of clay, whose foundations is in dust, who are crushed before a moth? They are broken in pieces from morning till evening. They perish forever. With no one regarding, does not their own excellence go away? They die even without wisdom." Here's the friend telling him this verse. Here's the friend telling him, like, you have healed people, you have been there for people, and now that you have given hope to people, but now that this has happened to you, you are weary, you are um you are weary, you have no hope. And he's saying, like, whoever perishes, has no life, has no hope, has no, like, faith, and that they die without wisdom. Sure, that could be true if you don't have faith and have hope. I get it. I get why Eliphaz was coming from, but yet here comes to the point where his friends, like Eliphaz, who was a Tenamite, sorry, um, saying these things. Yet again, I understand he's trying to make Job resonate and say, hey, like, you're right, I should have faith and I should have hope through these tough times. But, like, people who don't understand where you're coming from, people who do not understand where you are, why are you act the way that you act? I mean, it's hard. I mean, I have people question, and I have questioned other people too, of like why they act the way they do, and I know that there's like stuff going on in their lives, and I, with my own wounds, like I understand that we all have our own wounds, and sometimes we just want people to understand. And I have hard people not understanding where I'm coming from. Sometimes I'm very clingy, sometimes I'm very needy, sometimes I am working on this. I cling on to people. I wonder, like what's going on in a relationship, like if someone would stop talking to me, or if I know that they're busy. I know, because I do that too, and end up like catastrophizing, end up like withdrawing. And I know that some people in my life are going through this too, and I'm not the only one. And sometimes I feel like I'm being selfish because I feel like this, because I'm blaming them because of something that I'm doing also. It's, I don't know, it's weird. I know it's a lot of things that I need to work on. I'm still doing it, and I shouldn't be doing it, and I have done it more than once, and I know I need to stop it. But I'm still continue doing it. So it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. So I understand where both are coming from, because I have come from LFI's point of view, and I also come from jobs, so I understand both points of view. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you with this. I mean, we're all going through stuff, and some people might understand it better than others. Some might not even. And just know that we're not the only ones going through this, and you need to know that even though we're not going through someone else's pain, they have pain of their own, and we need to be there for them instead of like coming at them because we don't understand, or we want them to be there like they were before, to be there to be the people that we know, that's faith, that's full of hope, and dreams. And but I understand both points of views. I have been in jobs shoes where people don't understand where I'm coming from, and I have also been in LFI's shoes where I don't know like how to help people, how to be there for people, because I don't know how to receive it. I don't know how it feels sometimes. Like I don't know how to be there for people sometimes. Like if they pull away, I feel bad, and I ask them like why, like, and I do, and I sabotage it, and I know I shouldn't do it because I know that they're going through like their own struggles, and I am like mirroring or doing it in a way that I shouldn't have, and I need to be working on that more. I still do that. I still do that with relationships. No matter like I'm still doing it recently, and just like I'm a huge mess sometimes, and it's been really hard for me to get out of that cycle, to get out of that limbo, just like pushing people away. So I do not judge LFS, her job, because I been both shoes, and I have done both sides. So I do not judge them. I understand where both of them are coming from. So I don't know, like maybe many of you can relate to this. Like you've been in a tough situation where people don't understand where you're coming from, or you've been in LFS shoes, like you don't know like how to help a person, how to help another person that's hurting, to know how to help them, how to learn how to navigate through their pain, because you're going through your own. And it's a work in progress, and you're gonna have setbacks. I have setbacks too. I have been having setbacks with some friends, and I know I end up pushing them away, and I need to really work on that. I don't want to lose them, and I hope that they understand. And if they end up wanting to, like, not be in my life anymore, I understand that. I mean, who wants to deal with a person like me? Like, I understand. So I wouldn't, like, to this point, I wouldn't, like, be surprised if I, like, end up alone. I wouldn't be surprised at all, because I know that it's my way of coping with things. Sometimes just, like, end up pushing people away, so it wouldn't be a surprise to me if I end up being alone. Well, not completely alone, because I would have God, right? But, like, alone, like, in a physical realm, you know. So well, I guess I'll leave you guys with this, and I know that you all might can relate to this, so I hopefully I can continue this next Friday. So I thank you guys. So know what you're going through. So love you guys.